Augmented reality is one of the coolest things I've seen in the past decade for sure. Now with some of the hottest iPhone games from fee to free is Jim Squires, assistant editor with GameZebo.com. Welcome to WebNation.
Hi Amber, thanks for having me.
Well, when people think about gaming, they really don't think about gaming a lot on their mobile phones. I mean, that's kind of something that you use to communicate, but this is a huge market.
Yeah, absolutely. It sort of started out with people playing Snake on their phones a few years back, but it's really grown a lot, especially with the iPhone coming out a few years back. And now there's tens of thousands of games out there for the iPhone, so it's a pretty big market out there.
We're going to talk about some iPhone games, but I know on my BlackBerry, for example, I think I play Brick Breaker, which is a pretty fun game. You know, just when you want to pass time, right? And the neat thing about these games is they aren't very expensive.
Right.
So we're going to talk about three, and we're going to start with a game that is definitely a little bit more for adults.
Yeah, this one's a little bit more grown up. Call of Duty World at War Zombies, kind of the biggest name you're going to get as far as length goes.
That's good.
Yeah, if you're a fan of first-person shooters, you're probably very familiar with Call of Duty. It's been on consoles for a few years now. But this version is actually based on a multiplayer mode in last year's Call of Duty World at War, where you're fighting Nazi zombies, because if there's two things gamers like to kill, it's Nazis and zombies. It works out really well for the iPhone. You'd never think a first-person shooter would, but the controls are very simple, very intuitive. It's a blast to play. You can play online with friends. There's multiplayer all around the world. So the only problem is it's $9.99, a little steep for an iPhone game.
It's a little steep. I mean, still not too bad. We're looking at the game right now. What's interesting, like you said, is you are using your fingers, and the person playing looks pretty good. But for the average person just to pick this up and start playing, is it a tough one?
It's actually pretty intuitive. I was surprised at how easy it was. Usually with first-person shooters, you have all those different buttons to get used to, things like that. But with the iPhone, they didn't want to go that route. They obviously want to keep it as easy as possible, which I think they've done. You really just, your one thumb controls your movement, your other thumb controls your aiming and your shooting, and that's it. So it's pretty straightforward.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about a game that is a little more family-friendly, because first-person shooter games just aren't for everyone.
Yeah, and that's definitely a 17-plus kind of game there, but this is something everyone can enjoy. Bejeweled 2, which has been on the iPhone App Store probably since launch, so for a year or so now, is still sitting at the top of the sales charts, and the reason it's so hot right now is they've just added Bejeweled Blitz to the game. So if you're a Facebook gamer at all, you probably know Bejeweled Blitz. It's been the biggest Facebook game for the past couple of months. It's a time-sensitive version of Bejeweled, so you're spending a minute trying to get the highest score you can while competing against your friends. The nice thing about this is, though, because you've got it on your iPhone, you're still competing against your friends on Facebook. It all connects up. So it's the same scoring, the same everything else. No matter what version you're playing, whether it's Facebook or iPhone, you're still in that same competition, which is great.
And that is a very addictive game as well, I've heard.
Yeah, very hard to put down, Bejeweled. That's a very simple puzzle game. You're just matching 3 gems, but it's so simple that you can't stop doing it. It's wonderful.
Okay, we're out of time, but where can people read more about some of your game reviews and other gaming content?
Best place to check out is GameZebo.com. It's a wonderful site for casual games, iPhone games, web games. You can find a lot of my work there, a lot of work from great writers.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us today. It's time for a short break here on WebNation. Coming up, we'll find out how you can control the lights in your home with your iPhone.